Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video we are going to be answering the question, why did you meet this person? This goes beyond a significant other. It doesn't mean it can't include a romantic partner, but we're talking about general connection. People come into our lives all the time, and sometimes it's not always pleasant, or sometimes it's incredibly mysterious and makes you believe in magic because there's just some weird, unexplainable understanding between the two of you. So we are including both romance, friendship. This could even be somebody that you just kind of can't seem to get away from and you're not quite sure why. Whatever it is, we're going to be talking about it today in the cards. As you can see, we've got 4 groups in front of us. I'm going to give you a moment to pick the group that resonates with you most. We have crystals underneath. We have rose quartz. Yes, this is rose quartz. It's an extremely pale pink. Pyrite, yellow jasper, and red desert jasper. You pick what you know works with you most, and I'll give you a moment to do so. Now that you have, you can go down to the description where you can skip to your designated group and marked timestamp. But let's get started with group number one. Let's find out, why did you meet this person by looking at the cards. We have, okay, that sets the tone. New moon in Pisces. Okay, I'm pumped for you, or pumped for both of you. Your oracle card is Into the Unknown upright. Your tarot cards are 7 of Pentacles upright, 10 of Pentacles upright, 6 of Pentacles in reverse, 3 of Wands in reverse, Ace of Pentacles upright, and 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, I can feel it coming in really hard. When I feel this sort of connection, I can feel it like wash over me like a wave. I'm actually really excited for you because this is a connection I've personally experienced, and it is an incredibly special one. It will make you believe in magic. It's so wondrous and amazing because it's got this beautiful hybrid between the old and the new. And what I mean by the old is this is a soulmate connection, which is super, super beautiful and special, but there is a newness quality about it. It's like you guys meet, and even though right from the beginning it was so new, or it is so new, it was just like you couldn't explain it. It's the closest description that I would say was like when people say like love at first sight. But it's not always love at first sight. Sometimes it's like love at first vibe. It's like you just knew the right way to speak to each other. It was so easy. Everything was so easy. It just was comfortable and there wasn't enough proof of why you felt like you could open yourself up to this person and vice versa. It's incredibly magical, incredibly special. Now, I do want to clarify that I'm not seeing a lot of cards that are specifically talking about this being a soulmate connection for romance reasons. It doesn't mean this can't be a romantic situation and your soulmates, but this type of bond is so much more unique and special. It's purely about the connection. So I just want to make that very clear. It's like the soulmate, a part of it is it's like you guys were meant to be in each other's lives. You were meant to connect on whatever level. The other, whether it be friendship or romance, it does not matter. None of that matters. That's like an added bonus, but no matter what, you guys were meant to be together. It's incredibly potent, because when we have a new moon in Pisces, this is why I say it makes you feel like magical, because it's the type of feeling that makes you feel both extremely dreamy on like a fantasy level. You know, when people are caught up feeling in love for the first time, that's a common feeling many people can relate to. But I would argue that many people have had friendships where they are so excited to call their friend the next day and so on and so forth. But then it's a hybrid between also kind of feeling like something locked in with you in the universe. It's like you're starting to see synchronicities. You just feel a deeper sense of connection to your environment. It's like they were the missing piece to your other half. So it's an incredibly potent, inexplainable feeling that most people will search for their entire life, and you're lucky enough to experience. Like I said, there's many different forms of connection and romance or friendship or whatever. This one is one of my OG favorites. I really love it. Anyways, so going forward about why did you guys meet? It's more complex than just simply saying soulmates, because soulmates come into our life for various reasons. So I want to talk about you as a person before we get into like how they're affecting you in a really positive way. I can tell that you're an incredibly generous person. Your love language, or the way you express your affection in general to people, is through being very giving of yourself. Now, this can be anything. It can be gifts and money, but it can also be being very open, sharing your emotions, trust, whatever it be. You are just ready to give it, and you've got a lot to give, which is really beautiful. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't get that. Now, I do want to say I'm happy to report that not a lot of people, if you've ever felt this way in your life, nobody's intended to take advantage of that. It doesn't feel like people do. If it feels like they're with you one moment, enjoying what you have to give, and then they leave you the next, it's almost like they're not prepared to handle the intensity that you have to offer. It's like you're 0 to 100 ready to commit and ready to be in it to win it for the long term. Again, we're talking about all sort of friendships and romantic relationships and connections, because that's who you are. You are down with that sort of loyalty and trust, and like I said, overgiving. And many people can't handle that. They think they need time to mature. They don't understand what that means. It's just too much for them. That doesn't mean you need to turn it down at all. You're great. There's a very heightened sense of maturity that you were just kind of naturally born with. And it's an extreme gift that you have it so naturally embedded in you that no matter what you experience in life, you're always ready to, for the next person, give them a chance to have that experience with you. To be honest with you, people are very lucky if they do know you. These type of people who don't get it, unfortunately, they're going to later regret that in life, but that's their problem. So there's a tendency to overgive, people to not get it, to not understand. Like I said, it's like it's not a manipulation thing or a using you thing. It's like they don't understand what you're trying to express, and then they tend to leave for something that's a little more newer, simpler, easier. I have a feeling that you've accidentally approached people that aren't worthy of this giving. And again, thankfully not people that are not worthy because they're trying to use you, but they're just not at the right stage of their life. You know what I mean? Now, this is where your soulmate or this person comes into play. So you've had to kind of wait a while for them. And when you're along life trying to express yourself in this way and people aren't necessarily always returning the intensity that you have to bring, you're not getting any proof along the way that you're headed in the right direction, or what you're doing is worthwhile, or is it okay that you feel this deeply as a person and stuff like that. And this person showing up is like a reward, is kind of a reminder that you have to, in life, in general, but especially with them, waiting for them, you have to believe when there's no proof that there's anything to believe in. Again, we go over here to the Oracle card, trust in the unknown. That's the general principle of this Oracle card. It talks about the idea of, imagine you're being blindfolded and you're stepping forward, and you could at any moment step off the wrong staircase and tumble down, but yet you move forward. You trust that it's all going to be okay. This is a card of saying, like, you can trust in this person that you've built this connection, you feel and are building this connection with, that you have to in life have that sort of attitude in order to move forward, because you were not meant, how do I say this? It might seem unfair, but it's a metaphor within itself that you are not able, compared to others, to see the obvious signs along the way. This is a challenge to teach you patience, to really strengthen again your belief system, your hope, because once you are receiving this reward of this person, it's like moving forward in life is an easy breeze, because you understand that sometimes things take time and there's not proof of it, but it will add up to something, and it will add up to something significant. Yes, when I see the Ten of Pentacles here, this person, good luck getting rid of them. Trust me, they're going to be in your life forever. Probably if it doesn't end up in the long term becoming romantic and like staying romantic, I think it's definitely going to outlive even your romantic situation. Like I said, this is a very, very, very strong connection. So this person is teaching you that everything that you've been doing has been worthwhile. It's a reward. Like I said, patience, trusting in the unknown. And then here is them in the Ace of Pentacles kind of offering you just the tiniest little like, hey, you know, reaching out into the darkness saying, hey, I feel, I also feel the same way as you. I give my heart on my sleeve as well. Here you go. But with a little bit more proof than just simply words, because I'm sure you've heard words before of people giving you false promises. This is something a lot more tangible, so it means a lot more to you. So again, it's teaching you this nice little hybrid of saying, yes, emotions and being overly giving is beautiful, but so is proof. You know what I mean? What you're putting out there is like an offer and a promise, and you're trying to look for it back. But what you really need is tangible evidence that they will return that. And so you're kind of also being taught to not being shamed that it was too dreamy or too sweet of you to be like this as a person and be very giving. Not at all. This is a positive thing. But you also are now ready for the next level of demanding that you get it in return before people get more of you, if that makes sense, if they're deserving of it. So like I said, I see this really sweet newer connection. And it's interesting, when I see the Four of Pentacles here in reverse, it definitely implies that for a time, due to the pain that you might have experienced from people not returning this sort of connection, you might have closed up over time. The beautiful thing is you've just held on to your resources. That does not mean in the least they have been depleted, even if you feel that way. You know, they've never gone away. This is always who you're going to be in a really magical, like, people are so only to be so lucky to have this sort of characteristic. And now as they reach out to you and you build this connection, they finally opened you up. So now you're like a whole person. You can finally see that there was proof that some other people can return this sort of connection. You're understanding a new lesson in that sort of connection. You're appreciating everything that you've ever been through, and you can finally feel like yourself again to be able to open up entirely. So, like I said, just an extremely beautiful connection that I'm just very excited for you. Like I said, I have this connection, and it just makes me teary-eyed because it's so beautiful and fun, and I'm excited for you. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2, let's find out, why did you meet this person? By looking at the cards. We have New Moon in Taurus. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, I already know what this is about. Your oracle card is Sad Embrace in reverse. This is a great combo. I'm already really excited for you. Your tarot cards are the Devil upright, Temperance card upright, the Moon in reverse. Yep, Two of Swords in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse, and is this, yep, Queen of Cups reverse. A very, very strong water theme we got going over here. Yeah, emotions are running. Okay, so let's get into this. This is so, oh, it's so beautiful. I can't get over it. I love this. Sorry, this is just me wanting everything even. Okay. Let me just look at a couple things to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yep, they're all kind of repetitive. I love when tarot's like this. Sometimes spirit and tarot guides only have one thing to say, so they will repeat the imagery and the message over and over and over again, because that's all you need to hear. So this is great. So my hunch was correct with this. New moon in Taurus, it can deal with financial matters, interestingly enough, but we're more going to be focusing on self-worth. So this person came in your life at a time when you needed it most, especially when I see sad embrace in reverse. This is when you're going through a really, really tough time, and you kind of just feel like trapped in your sadness and you can't escape this. Spirit's telling me lack of passion in life. It just feels torturous. And this is kind of breaking through that icy shell. Not that you're icy, but it feels like you're cocooned and trapped in your own sadness, so to speak, by teaching you about your self-worth as a person and helping you move forward. So specifically, New Moon in Taurus talks about the idea of understanding that if you understand how valuable you are, then others will. It's not necessarily a manifestation thing where sometimes people say that if you think negatively, you'll attract negative things. That's not always the case. That's like a whole different discussion. I'm going to make a whole video about manifestation. Don't worry about that. Sometimes the good stuff's already around you. It's just you're unable to see it based on where you're more focusing your attention or what you're kind of naturally opening yourself up to. So by looking inwards and realizing how special you are and that you are worth something, that you do deserve happiness, you do deserve to have good things in your life, then you slowly start to notice that other people are like, oh, they gave me the go-ahead, talking about you. Now we can go give them other good things. Like we were waiting around with baskets of fruit, waiting to pour them, give them tons of love and celebration, and they just weren't ready to hear it. Now they are, woo! You know what I mean? But sad embrace, this is going to be a little hard to hear, so just do your best to understand that this is just the way the card puts it. But it's when somebody is suffering over suffering. The best way I can express it is you think that you're trapped in your sadness and you're not able to move on because it's holding you on, but in reality, you're actually not even facing it or embracing it. You're taking sort of a mindset where you feel like you're deserved something, and I hate this phrase. Sometimes people would call it playing the victim. I really hate that. Please, I can't think of another word for it, but I do not see you as a victim. Other people don't see you as that, but you understand what I'm trying to say. But in reality, this card is saying that you're hurting yourself by really just kind of savoring in it. And in fact, you need to kind of relinquish all of that sort of, like we talked about the perspective of like what you're deserved and this isn't fair, and just kind of sit in the sadness in itself. And by embracing it, you can then in turn allow it to move on. Because right now it's just hanging out and festering because that's not happening. And that's essentially what this person has come here for. They're coming to help you out of that, out of your own personal cage you've put yourself in. One of the ways that you tend to hurt yourself is when we see the Devil card and we can see them being represented by the Temperance card. Devil card is when you're kind of like taking on too much of something and then you're restricting yourself too much. It's like a very unhealthy balance. So it's like watching too much Netflix and then staying in bed and sleeping for too long. And it's this constant like overindulging and then thinking you don't deserve it and restricting. And how has that ever worked for anyone in anything? Keep in mind, we've all done it. You shouldn't feel ashamed of yourself. Like, who hasn't been there multiple times in their life and most likely will do it more in the future? But the Temperance card's the total opposite. It essentially is, and this is the person helping teach you this, it's when somebody is able to understand that balance is not simply the, two things existing at the same time, like duality. It's understanding that it's a bunch of different components, and they all need to be the right proportion and be in the right places and the right amount. So it's somebody who's able to understand the complexity of what you're going through. Like it's always so cruel when people say, oh, just get over it. And you're like, I would love to. I would love to just get over it. This is someone who's going to be able to understand these little tiny details that you can't even fully understand or express yourself, and they're going to be able to help you know where to put your attention somewhere else, where to leave something else behind, give you just the right amount of love and then pull away. They're really going to be able to speak this like language that you don't even fully understand yourself and help you form, like I know I sound very poetic when I say this, it's like you don't even know how to put everything into words, and they help you do that, and then by expressing it, you not only are able to understand your sadness and heal, but you're also able to then like kind of gain control of the situation, so to speak, because it feels like you're not in control, which is really not a fun feeling. That idea continues over here. So Two of Swords is showing that you need to make this decision in order, like it has to be a very clear, proactive, like I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to fight to feel better. I want to feel like myself, but that takes somebody who is believing in themselves, someone that believes they're worth feeling happy again one day, someone who thinks that like is like, you know what, I can't say anything nice about myself right now because I'm not in that place, but I understand that there is something worth there fighting for. We talked about self-worth, and in order to get to that place, they are helping you with the Moon card in reverse. They're kind of pulling behind all of the confusion, they're looking behind the curtain of what feels like a foggy mess. Of feelings and actions you can't quite explain why you're doing them, why you're putting yourself in that position, and so on and so forth. And by you better understanding yourself and how you're approaching your feelings and them and everything else, it just doesn't feel so confusing. And it kind of is, the best way I can put this is, I always say that when we're going through anything, you might hear the same thing 100 times, but it's like the 79th time or whatever, the 101th time, I guess is the term I want to use. It's said in a certain combination of words that click for you that way. It's like a little key. Yes, did it say exactly what all the other 100 things did? Yes, but this one is the way you needed to hear it. That's the best way I can express it. They're helping you understand the thing that you needed to understand about yourself in the way it didn't click before, and that then gives you the kind of like urge to keep fighting for a better day. I love that the sun just came out right then. That's so beautiful. And then lastly, there's a bit of an awareness thing. This is to kind of help you come out of the mindset of feeling like you're always being attacked, or why does this always happen to me? Again, the mentality we talked about in Sat Embrace in reverse. So Page of Cups would be like people offering you not great situations or deals, like insincere affection. You kind of already know it's not going to become any sort of relationship. You already know that it's not a good deal. Whatever it is, it's like people are, you feel like it's plaguing you. And it's like, imagine that the fish and the messenger, the water is all the bad deals, and it's sprinkling out onto you. And that then causes the Queen of Cups, which is this feeling of emotional imbalance like we talked about. And I'll just simply put it as that. Just feeling off emotionally, not feeling in control of yourself, just so many feelings, you get what I'm saying. But anyways, it's an awareness. They're bringing an awareness into your life, this person, that your bad feelings, I know it feels like this is following you around, but it's only because you have these bad feelings. It's, you think somehow that your, example, the Queen of Cups surrounded by water, that you deserve, that you somehow think that you're allowed to take this, so you just turn around and take it. But you don't need to. You can turn around, fight back, and say, get out of here. I don't have time for this. And by, again, realizing your self-worth, there's that can change. This doesn't have to, you don't always have to see what's happening to you, but how you could make it be. I also want to give you the happy omen with the Moon card being in reverse. That is overcoming stress and sadness, which is really beautiful that they're helping you out with. And this is this decision being made, being like, yeah, I'm not going to take this anymore. Temperance talks about feeling really balanced and control with your energy. That's a huge thing. That's a nice little clue to think about. I know energy energy seems really ambiguous. For some of you, that will click immediately, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do Reiki or chakra clearing or whatever. And that's totally works. That's the main thing I'm talking about. But this is a subtle thing. I thought this might be helpful for you, just as like a side note from what I'm reading the cards. This isn't just specifically about this person. When we feel off in our energy, it's not something we give in, like we always just talk about feelings or your body. It's kind of left, like things like the unconscious, the mind, energy are kind of left and swept out of regular, conventional talking about your, welfare as a person. But the thing is, when your energy's off, because you don't know it's your energy, it doesn't feel like anything's quite the solution because you're not properly treating what needs to be treated. So definitely consider something like chakra clearing. I know this seems, for some people, that might not be your jam, but I mean, just try it. Just when you go to sleep to take a nap or go to bed, put on, there's special like YouTube videos, they're for free, and you can look up something like chakra clearing, and you can look up specific chakras, or you can look up like a mass chakra clearing. And generally it just means, if you want to think of chakras as like metaphors, the idea is that every chakra has a vibration, and this music gives you not only a calming feeling, but it kind of fixes the vibrations, because sometimes your chakras are either not, they're like overly active or they're underactive. And essentially, if you don't believe in chakras, you can think of the chakras as a metaphor for, like, if your throat chakra is clogged, you're not speaking your truth, you're not able to express yourself, or maybe you deal with a lot of guilt. If your solar plexus chakra is off, you're dealing with confidence issues, whatever that be, so on and so forth. Definitely consider it, because it is something that might fill in a missing piece you haven't even considered. So I'm just throwing that out there. Anyways, gotta share what I see in the cards. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening to this reading. I'm really happy this person came in your life to help you out of this circumstance you've been in for a while. And I'm wishing both of you the best and your higher sense of like happiness and understanding of yourself, and that you are worth something. You're worth a whole lot. Consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's find out, why did you meet this person, by looking at the cards. We have New Moon in Leo. Your oracle card is, ooh, this is so good. I love when, before you've even pulled more cards, these are very similar. I kind of already have a vibe of what's going on. Your oracle card is Follow the Leader in reverse. Your tarot cards are, that makes sense, 4 of Pentacles upright, 8 of Wands upright, Page of Swords upright, 2 of Pentacles upright. Yep, I definitely know what's going on. 6 of Cups upright, and Queen of Pentacles upright. Okay, so yeah, this is exactly what I thought it was. Sorry, I was just looking it over and making sure I got everything correct. So the major theme going on over here with why this person popped up in your life is to help you kind of bring your attention to a specific area in your life going on right now. So this is talking about the balance between when, you're working, career, whatever you're aiming towards, errands, the boring stuff that we have to do in life, and then the fun side of it. And it's about realizing that you need to have more fun specifically, but we'll get more into that in a second. So New Moon in Leo is is kind of like the reassuring card saying, like, listen, you've got everything on lockdown at work. I know you're worried about, giving it all your attention, making sure you're getting all of these important, we'll just call them like regular errands and work, but you understand the collective idea of what's going on here. You got that down. You're fine. But we work in order to live. And it's true if you, live or have too much joy and do things that don't really add up to anything, eventually that will eat up too much of your time and you won't have enough money in order to, it's a back and forth balance right now for most people. And this is saying, like, listen, that's fine. You've got this on lockdown, but you're really not, and you need to go just be silly. Do something for nothing. It's definitely like the lion ruffling his mane and being really show-offy. It's not about the vanity version that a lot of people put Leo in as a category. It can be if you consider vanity like a really fun thing, like dressing up or whatever, but it's about creating and being silly for nothing and playing games and so on and so forth. But then over here, we have follow the leader in reverse. Now this one's really interesting, and I'm going to kind of bounce around for a second because we have the Two of Pentacles here. This shows you successfully, again, another positive confirmation card that you're doing great. You're doing awesome. You're successfully handling all of these multiple things that you need to get done, and you're the person people can rely on. But this also shows up as a kind of warning that you're overloading yourself. You haven't quite done it yet, but if you add one more, pentacle to this person's juggling, a ball's going to drop. And you're kind of at that point. And in order to kind of continue to do this well, it would probably be best if you dropped one of them and made more time for something else, found a balance between it. Now, the main thing over here is we have a bit of a metaphor going on. The things that this person is juggling, or you are juggling, are these two situations. So again, I can't give you enough positive confirmations that you're doing everything great in life when it comes to the technical hard stuff. Queen of Pentacles is someone who is able to manifest based on her skills, her practical skills. She is making a lot of money because she knows she can depend on what she can accomplish with with her hands. So she's studied enough, she's learned enough, she's experienced enough, and she just has a cool, calm, and collected. She's got it on lockdown, like we talked about before. So this is like the work side of you. Again, I keep generalizing as work, but you understand what I'm saying as the whole idea. And then over here is your inner child, your sweetness. It almost seems imperative that you do have more fun, not only because in life we forget what's really important, and I consider that extremely important, and I too myself lose sight of that all the time, just that sense of passion and wonder for nothing kind of idea. But when we have it specifically being depicted as Six of Cups rather than the Fool or something, which is more of a free-spirited mentality, it seems like you're losing a core part of yourself by ignoring that. You need to connect to what you love in order to feel most like yourself before you wake up one day and it's like everything's great in your life, you're able to pay your bills and everything's awesome, but something feels wrong. You're not quite that excited about anything and you're not really sure where to begin or what you stand for. It's a very deep core part of yourself that needs fostering through this sort of silliness and pointless kind of activity. I don't even know if you could say it's pointless considering how good it's doing for you. And you're kind of being asked, and this person is kind of guiding you towards being able to be like, okay, you're doing great at juggling all your other activities, but you need to give this more attention because you really need to be finding a balance between these two rather than just a balance between everything else working in your life. Does that make sense? So this is where I was talking about the bouncing around. So on one hand, there's a part of you that, how do I express this? This is going to get kind of confusing. So we're going to talk about the idea of taking charge in your life, right? Now, on one hand, you might feel you've taken charge of your life because you're handling all of these difficult activities. You're most likely taking care of other people. This could also be a cute pet of some sort or whatever, but there's this sense of reliability around you. So you feel like you're being proactive when it comes to, taking the lead in your life. But you're not. And we're not talking about then taking a leadership position in general, like at a job or something like that. Not at all. We're more talking about the idea of When it's follow leader is in reverse, this says you can't wait for other people to accomplish the things that you want done. Or let's say you don't like something in the relationship happening. This pops up saying, listen, you need to then go do that. You need to say, I'm not happy, and then go make it happen. Don't get me, we're going to get to the person and how they come involved with all this. They're helping you with all of this, essentially. And so over here, we have somebody who thinks they are the leader and they're doing something, but they're just kind of a cog in the machine. By taking charge and taking that sort of initiative and proactiveness, we want to pull you out of what you have going over here with the Four of Pentacles. You're never allowing yourself to have fun and release, and this is part of where the person comes in and what they're helping you with, because you think there's some form of protection around you. There's, there's like, like a fly going near my head. You think it's a form of protection if you just kind of stay as is. You keep your resources the same, you keep your emotions the same, you just keep everything just as is, making it work. Same idea over here with the Two of Pentacles. Just a simple sense of like, okay, I'm making it all happen. I'm not improving. I'm not progressing. I'm not even thinking to think, is there more than this? I'm just trying to keep it on lockdown because this is what I can handle and what I can do. So this is where the person comes in. We have over here the Page of Swords. This is them. They're the person trying to remind you of the fun. They're the person that's trying to let you know that you're doing a great job, trying to bring you to silliness, trying to give you feedback on your life, both compliments of what you've accomplished. Like we said, we have a ton of confirmation cards that you're going to be okay if you do focus a little more on fun and kind of let some other things kind of relax a little bit. You're good. You're fine there. You can have that reassurance that nothing's going to fall apart if you back away a little bit. But also to give you kind of spirited, like, yeah, you got this when you are having fun. They're meant to bring you towards it, but they're sort of like your inner monologue existing as a person outside of you. And I can definitely see with the Eight of Wands here, there just seems to be some form of resistance in two different ways. It's like consider this the speed and the power of you making your case to the other person that like, no, I have to get this done. Let me get this done first and then I'll do that. Like, it's like you're fighting it back and you're not allowing them to express themselves. You're giving a bunch of excuses and reasons why. It's very powerful. It's very intense. They're standing up. They're doing the best they can to fight against what you're saying, but keep in mind that they can only take that for so long. It's important to enjoy them in your life and use them as a tool that will help you feel like the best version of yourself, because you need that right now. But there's also this intensity I feel that you're experiencing. It's like you're projecting what you're experiencing. You are dealing with a lot. It does seem to always come at a really quick pace. It just never seems like it ends. You know what I mean? How can you possibly... It's like, imagine these wands are flying at you really quickly and you're being told, well, just don't defend yourself. Don't put up a shield. Just don't worry about it this one time. And you're like, if I don't worry about this one time, a bunch of wands are going to like smack me in the face. That intensity that you're feeling, that intensity that you're putting on, you're just kind of being told of like, you're going to have to some way, somehow tune everything out and give attention to this person, because they're going to be the voice of reason, they're going to be the voice of inspiration, and they're just going to kind of bring you to a much more lighthearted part of yourself and really help you reconnect with yourself and find this beautiful balance and get reassurance. It's just the giant safety blanket that you deserve and need during this time in your life. So, very beautiful. If you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it, please consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's find out, why did you meet this person? By looking at the cards. We have Mutable Moon. Your oracle card. Ooh, okay. All right. Your oracle card is Unexpected Visitors Upright. I can just tell you right now, a tone has been started for the spread. Understood. Here are your tarot cards. We have Ace of Pentacles upright, Three of Pentacles upright, Knight of Wands upright, Injustice in reverse, the Devil in reverse, and the World card upright. Oh my God. There is gonna be some drama. Interesting. Okay, so before I get into this, I'm just gonna make this clear now. This is about 3 people, you and 2 others. But here's the thing. There's a third party involved. They're like there, but the main person, we're speaking about one person, this whole like, why did you meet this one person? It's them affecting you, but in turn it affects the other person. But the main connection and the reason why they're in this situation is to affect your life and you to affect theirs. This other person's just kind of a byproduct, unfortunately, taking the brunt of the aftermath, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try to make this as clear as possible and concise, but I am speaking about 3 people as a whole, but when we talk about the meeting one person, we're talking about the one person, okay? Does that make sense? Anyways, so over here, the reason why I talked about there being a tone is both of these cards talk about an idea of a transition. That is the biggest thing I'm picking up from all the cards, is this person is meant to be used as a sort of, I guess you could describe them as like a tool, a useful, helpful thing. I mean person, but thing that enables you to move successfully through this transition. So Mutable Moon talks about being an unexpected change and something that is just kind of happening. It does give a slight forewarning that you're going to kind of hit something that wouldn't maybe be your favorite. Oh my gosh, I'm so tongue-tied. There's going to be a little hiccup in the road and then it's going to get better. That's the best way I can put it. Because the Mutable Moon talks about saying like, hey, listen, you might not like everything you're seeing right now, but that doesn't mean the concept has been fully finalized or realized. Sometimes when we feel a blip in the road, we think, oh no, that's it, that's how it ended. And this is saying, no, 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 that's not how it ended. That's just one part of the journey. So this card suggests, this is where a bit of the person coming in is, they're like helping you take on this mentality. If we see your journey as a straight line, right? And then the Mutable Moon says, hey, guess what? It's going to start to ebb and flow now unexpectedly. Keep in mind, this is not going to be like an insufferable thing. I just want to keep in mind this can be you're going to be fine. This is not a dramatic thing you need to worry about. But when the things change and it starts becoming ebbing and flowing, it doesn't mean being mutable or changeable and adaptable by ebbing with that flow, mirroring it. It means being able to move around and with it and against it all at the right times and places when it needs to be, and being flexible and open-minded enough in order to do that. Now, why do you need to be so flexible in order to handle this transition? Most people need to be flexible when they handle transition. It's because of the unexpected visitor. Again, this card talks about being overly prepared. Prepare for the unpreparable. But it's not about then packing more, thinking of every possible task or plan, how it can be best handled or anything like that. It's about being aware that sometimes something's going to happen, you didn't see it coming, and the more you're kind of open-minded to like it being not what you had anticipated, the more you're able to allow in something potentially very good. Because while this card implies there's a hiccup and then it's going to get better, this card says there's a change and it's going to only lead to a really positive thing that you hadn't expected that you were going to get. So if you weren't scared and fighting it off and pushing it away, you're going to then see the end result of this unexpected change. Again, this is going to be something you didn't even know you were asking for, essentially. So it's a good thing. Again, can't preface this enough. It's all going to be good for you. So we have over here in the Injustice card a blip, and then we have the good ending here with the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles says some sort of opportunity is coming your way. Again, I can't preface this enough. You're not going to see it coming. It's not something you thought you wanted, but you're going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to offer itself amongst all of this, and it's going to be the end result. So the Injustice card implies you putting in some sort of work or making some sort of effort and not getting an equal exchange back. This would be described as the unfair card. Yes, it sounds super vague, but it's just something didn't work out the way you were hoping to, and it sucks, and it's not fun, it's not great. Again, this is where this person pops in again, and this is where it gets really interesting. So they're helping you with this sort of mentality with dealing with this transition and change, and they're giving you this perspective, and they're helping you handle all these ups and downs and understand that there's an end to the light of this tunnel. Like, this is not the end of it, through their energy. But again, when I talk about them being some sort of a tool, like a practical stance, I'm talking, or vibe, or I can't think of the vocabulary. That's interesting that we have the Three of Pentacles representing the three of you. Because the Three of Pentacles, you could have gotten the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is more of like friendship and social. It would be absolutely clear what it is. This feels more like there is something happening that needs to be understood. It's less emotional, and I do want to preference how weird that is, because I'm definitely getting, despite the lack of romance cards here, this is definitely a situation with romance. I feel like it's you and another partner, and this other person's a partner, but it's almost like they're helping you ultimately be with this other person. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what I'm getting. And so essentially they're being useful through all these emotions with practical advice, helpful things that are going to benefit you. It's more than just purely like, do they want to be with me? Do they not want to be, like emotion-filled questions? Does this make sense? So they have a really tenacious energy, which is great. And they are coming at this obstacle that you'll go through with just such intensity, such passion, such a will to be like, we're going to make it happen. It doesn't matter if they say it's not going to happen. We're going to make it happen. It's being able to understand that you'll get to the end because you just truly believe that you're going to get there. So like I said, hard and fast, and it's going to inspire you and get you through this time period. And then this is when we have sort of the end result and the idea that then, like, the World card and this opportunity are pretty much one and the same. So the Devil card implies some sort of breakaway from something that's unhealthy. So the thing is, and I have to be vague here, the Devil card could be implying that the injustice, whatever you went through, the thing that was unfair, that's what you're breaking away from. But it could also be like, again, this is where I'm feeling like pulled in a bunch of different directions, because again, this is a general reading. It almost feels like, is this other person unhealthy for you and they're pulling you away? I weirdly get like a self-sacrificing vibe where like they're aware they're the unhealthy person and they're there to like help you in your time of need, but ultimately understand they're not meant to be the one that you end up with. So whatever it is, there's some sort of breakaway. So that's good. You know, you get out of that situation, which then pulls you away from a more closed-minded thinking. This is all, or not that you have a closed-minded perspective, a closed situation, like feeling like you're unable to move forward. Then we get to the World, which leads you out of this tumultuous transitioning and dealing with obstacles and this like up and down vibe to the World. When you get this opportunity, it is going to physically move you from your space. It is going to, this is why I'm strongly feeling like it's some sort of job opportunity. It is going to open your view of the world, not only because of the new kind of tasks and things you're taking on, but having seen someone help you but also not be the person you end up with gives you a whole different perspective on connections and both romantic and friendship and people's purposes in life. So they're there to help you, but they're also there to kind of teach you something, again, that you had not anticipated or even asked to experience or learn, but it's going to be something that you'll really find precious and find a deeper connection with humanity and people you meet on the street and your friends by understanding that things are always not simplified. They're not always just friends or just romance, or just because they left you, it doesn't mean they don't love you, if that makes sense. So, very complex, very interesting, very complex. I'm actually excited for you. I've been through multiple complex situations myself, and I feel it's really given me the gift to love and understand social situations in a totally different way than a lot of I hear my friends speak about. So I'm just looking forward to this for you, because ultimately it's a positive, happy ending in multiple ways. So woo. Anyways, if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.